Here we are once again.
Welcome in,
back
everyone.
to Doing It Raw.
Relationship
Relationship
goals.
goals.
No, that didn't go. That didn't go right, baby.
Why not?
Let's try again. Ready?
We need
Say,
to do it together.
yeah,
What do we do? Doing it.
raw
Relationship.
goals.
There we
No.
go. Finish each other.
Sentences.
No, sandwiches.
Sandwiches. Oh man, I knew it. In my head, I knew it. My mouth just talked way too quick. I was like, "Girl, get it together."
Well, to be honest, I finished your sandwiches. You don't finish yours. I finished my sandwich. You don't finish your sandwich, and then I finish your sandwich.
That's very true. Well, hope you are doing well, guys. Thank you so much for joining us again.
We've had pretty deep episodes the last two that we released.
Yeah.
You cried.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy like roller coaster. This podcast is just I don't know. But today I probably woke so I came prepared, you guys, because for the other podcast, like I didn't have any tissue.
You too. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Look at that.
Crazy. Maybe that's why like we should be friends. But we have some very special guests today,
Yes,
and
we do.
you guys won't even like a lot of people think that we are against divorce, and we're not. We're like, yeah, just like we want to help couples have a healthy relationship, but if they don't want to be together, they don't want to be together, right? So we're like, no, we're not against divorce. So I know, like people are just like they just like to talk.
We're against what kind of divorce? The I don't know how to label it. Just the I don't know.
I don't know.
Divorce that doesn't make sense, I guess.
Anyways, so we have some awesome guests, and you want to introduce them or me? So we have our very special friend Sierra and her ex-husband Matt. Welcome in, you guys.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
And I am so thankful that you guys are like here together because I love hearing, both sides of the story, regardless if you're together or not. And that says a lot about you guys. Just like even sitting here together, very calm, very chill. Like I feel no tension, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, we still like each other. We just, things on the line, and we're still living together, co-parenting. So it's just we're there's love at the core of our relationship, even if there's no title.
Right.
Oh, nice. I like that.
I think it shows what it can be, and that's what I think I've been striving towards. And I know she feels the same way. Is that, like she said, there's still love there, and I don't wish any ill will towards her. I wouldn't want that because I don't want that for myself. I wouldn't want that, and I don't want our kids to see that.
Yeah. Look at you guys getting deep already.
No,
we just started.
Well,
he just dived. I said, Matt, it's doing it wrong. He's like, I'm gonna get raw then. 5 seconds in.
Well, my big thing is like lead by example. So I want.
You could stop. They have a whole show to do.
I'm sorry.
He'll just keep talking.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just kidding.
It's okay. No, thank you guys for being here, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this. And I don't know, you know what? Let's give you guys a few minutes to introduce yourselves or tell us a little bit about you guys, how long you guys were together, married, how many kids, stuff like that.
Yeah, so we've been together we were together since 2004, so 21 years, almost my whole life, half my life, more than half my life. I was 16 when I met him.
Don't do the math. No,
Don't do the math.
Don't do the math.
But I was really young when I met him. He was a little bit older, but still young.
Right.
Married for almost 14 years. We have a 13-year-old, almost 11-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And we had a miscarriage 3 years ago, actually, the past couple days.
Right, in the last couple days, yeah.
So we just came around the anniversary of it. And we kind of lived nomadically. We moved around. We're from New England originally. Moved to South Carolina, and now we're here in Texas, close to you guys. So
nice.
What made you move to Texas?
The
The
house.
best date.
Well, it was this house came up, and we were thinking of getting. We're doing it backwards of getting an investment property before,
Right.
finding a house, and things just kind of unfolded for us to get here. We both work remotely, so the kids are homeschooled. We were able to just pack up and go.
Nice.
And what about you, Matt? What do you do?
So I'm a data analyst for a healthcare company. I've been there for 4 years. I just hit my 4 year. I know. I got hired during COVID. So that's how I kind of I remember how I got hired. When I got hired, excuse me. And I've been home ever since. The company that I'm at now, when I got hired, I was automatically remote because of COVID happening. And then when kind of COVID lifted, they gave everybody the option to go full-time back in, part-time, hybrid, excuse me, and then full-time remote. But 90%, at least the people I worked with, all went home and stayed home. And a lot of people did what we did, which was that ability to move.
Yeah.
And they told me that it was okay because I was already remote. And they just said the biggest thing I had to do was just update the address for tax purposes for my,
Yep.
and then that was it. So it worked out well. And now we're here.
That's
Nice.
super awesome. And you, Sierra, what do you do?
So I run my own business, social agency. I also have a sister business called A Bridge That Matters. So I do transformational coaching, business consulting. What I do is I build communities and ecosystems for people. That's how we got connected through one of my ecosystems there. And then I'm primary homeschool parent during the day. So it's we both do it. He
Right.
probably does it more than I do, if I had to be honest, but he has more patience.
Wow.
But I create the curriculum and all
Yeah,
that
she
stuff.
does
for
a
them,
lot of work.
so-
You should, the little nook she created for our daughter, she did a great job. Came out awesome.
I saw a picture. I think I saw a picture on Facebook of the little corner, and I was like, that is so cute. I love it.
Yeah, got to keep her busy. So
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we have a 2.5-year-old, so that girl, but she tends to keep herself busy a little bit while I'm homeschooling the other two, so it helps. But geez, sometimes it just doesn't go the way you want it to go.
no.
That's homeschool for you.
That's homeschool for you. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Like that is super cool. I think that's why we're I don't know. Did I tell you that she was in my dream?
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
We might have to end the podcast early because I need to hear this off camera, I think.
No, it's raw. It's raw, baby. It's raw. Look, I seriously so she had a meeting for, I think it was a Monday, right? Monday morning.
Friday. It was a Friday morning.
Oh, it was a Friday morning. See, I didn't even know what day I lived in. And the day before, because she is an hour ahead of us. So she was like, oh, is 8 okay? And I was like, okay. And it's 7 for us. And that's when I'm barely waking up.
Yep.
That night, I literally dreamt that she was like, okay, Brie, you need to get whatever frequencies you have left, girl, and you need to get up. And I was like, and I woke up, and it was in the middle of the night, and I woke up and I was like, Sierra. So then I guess the rest of my I went back to sleep, and I woke up right before 7. And I was like, oh, I need to get on that meeting.
That's how magical I am. I thought that's what my coaching is. I thought you in your sleep.
And it was crazy because okay, I got up and I was like, okay, let me at least do something with my hair so I can work out while I'm listening to the meeting. And I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing. And I got there late and they had to watch me work out.
It was inspiring. It was a good
Do it wrong.
It was crazy, but that's how she'll show up. So guys, if she shows up in your dreams, don't get scared. She is just trying to help you out. So
Send the invoice later.
because she said you literally said oh, people tell me that all the time. I was like,
People I have so many messages. People be like, "You were in my dream last night," and one of them, this is because we're on Doing It Raw. she called me. She was like, "You were helping me deliver my baby." I was like, "What?" I was in bed, Kristen. I was like, that was the weirdest
remember
one
that
I've been
one.
in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, please don't show up at my husband's streams,
won't.
though. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say when she dreams of women, it's all fine and dandy. But when I dream of some random girl that I've never seen in my life, she's like, "Who is she? Why dream of her?"
Or when I dream that he's dreaming of, I'm
Yeah,
like,
like-
excuse me, sir.
Right? You
I
wake
was
up.
knocked out. I was knocked out sleeping.
I'll be like giving him those ugly stares, like throwing the breakfast, like, here's your breakfast.
Right? You
You don't get no drink today. No, but yeah, anyway, I know we're getting off topic. We haven't even started the topic. And we're already like having all these other conversations.
It's all right.
Matt's like, hello.
Just drag them
No,
in.
that's okay. I'm all for it.
We've covered so many deep topics with just by ourselves, with guests. We've gone through our own addictions. We've gone through financial struggles.
Mhm.
We've gone through a couple who came together after losing their significant other. A couple who dealt with technically they were already out of the house, but it still kind of hits pretty hard to lose a child.
Mhm.
And so many other things. And one thing that kind of caught our attentions to have you guys on is something that we relate to as well, which is miscarriages.
Mm.
And I know that you mentioned you had one about 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
3 years, close to the anniversary already.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes that's not talked about enough
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah, it's one of those things where even we have to be conscious of, like, hey, right now we're a family of 4. We could have been a family of 7.
Terrible.
And when we put it into that perspective, I'm like, whoa.
We could have been we could have been not a family of 7, babe.
Yeah, why not?
We could have been a family of 9.
9?
Yeah, because we're a family of 6 now.
Oh,
Math-
The math didn't.
math didn't connect.
You
We
meant
could have
4
had
kids.
7.
Yeah.
We could have 7 kids.
Yeah, and it's insane to me how this like whole thing happened with having you guys on, because I had this topic already for a few weeks and I was trying to figure out, okay, who do I know that can come in and talk about it, right? And it just never happened. And I was like, you know what, like, we're getting to the end of the season of our podcast, and I was like, we're just gonna have to do it just us.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine. And then I saw your post and I was like, okay, God, thank you.
And you know what's funny? I was like laying in bed, and it was the day before the anniversary when I started to miscarry, and I was like, I felt called to make a post like right before it, and I was just like writing it because I was, it's a lifelong grieving process, but for me, I was just like, I share it because I've walked many women through, going through a miscarriage or having a rainbow baby after, which we did. And I was like, I feel called to write. So, and then you messaged me right away and I was like, that's why. I was like, that's why I had to, because the more I talk about it, the more I heal, it helps.
Yeah.
So I try to be as vocal as I can, because not a lot of people have that, freedom or privilege to speak about it. So
Yeah, no, and thank you. Yeah, because if you hadn't put that post, we would have just sat here talking about it by ourselves, and that would have been a great impact. But I think your story, your guys' story, like, that is huge, and people needed to hear it. And couples, even couples that are no longer together too, because I do think that it's a big, like, how do I want to say this? Like, it leaves a big hole.
Yeah.
Not just in a relationship, but as individuals.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you putting that, I was like, okay, God, thank you for doing the work, because I had no idea. So I was like, the only thing I have to do now is reach out to her and like see, if. And then you're like, oh, I'll see if Matt can come. I was like, oh, thank you, because I didn't want to ask. I didn't know, like, I didn't know how your dynamic, was. So I was like, I don't want to ask, like, oh, can you have Matt?
Well, it's funny because like I was thinking that I literally showered right before I got on here, and I was sitting in the shower just thinking like, not about what I wanted to say, but what I was feeling. And literally what you just said, like, it really does alter who you are as a person, and it's not just, us as a couple. And like, we're not getting divorced because we had a miscarriage, right? And I think I do know a lot of couples do get divorced after it because it is difficult. Our miscarriage brought us much closer together. I think it was for the first time we were actually able to like care about each other at a deeper capacity. He was changing my diaper. How more intimate could you get with that? And it just brought us so much closer together as people. And I wanted him to come on because he's never been able to share his side. We don't talk about it too much, but I think it'd be nice for me to hear his side a little bit.
Yeah,
because it's I know in the woman's side, and I want you both to speak to that, like how it is on the woman's side, but also on the man's side. Yeah, because we feel helpless at that point. We're like, I don't know how to help you, but I'm here to do my best that I can. You want me to change your diaper? All right, I'll be there. Because as a protector and a provider, all we want to do is take that pain away as soon as possible. Let us carry that weight. However, it's one thing that we can't. So yeah, if you don't mind, Matt, talk a bit about that on your part, how it was going through as a man, and then we'll allow the ladies to converse on that as well afterwards.
Sure. I mean, it, like you said, I felt completely helpless. I felt like she had to burden the whole thing. And I just was trying to do everything I could to make a horrible situation even a little bit easier for her.
Yeah.
Because it just, I mean, and then obviously still try to worry about taking care of 2 other kids at the same time. And obviously taking care of her. But what I mean is it was so many times I just kind of felt like dumb to it. And almost like it wasn't real. I know it sounds crazy to say like that. I mean, because I know we said we're going to be raw, but like just seeing the things that she had to deal with and just trying to help whatever, like you said, any way I could. You couldn't even like have an emotion towards it. I just had to just try to help, whether I thought it was scary, which it was, maybe even gross in certain points. It didn't make a difference. I just felt like I knew that I really couldn't react in one way or the other because I didn't want to make what she was feeling any worse, because it was scary. And it was, I mean, I remember I still can picture the day of us sitting there, and I don't mean to look down, I'm just kind of focusing on when the doctor came in and they told us that they didn't hear a heartbeat anymore. Even hearing it then, it's like, I was like, I know obviously it's not to be funny about it, but I was like waiting for like, just kidding. Like, I'm not trying to make light of it, but what I mean is it just even hearing the words didn't seem real in that moment. But I just held her and just dealt with it together and just tried to process as she could, and it was just like scary and like almost like not even knowing sometimes I didn't even know how to react or even what to do in that moment. It was just like kind of a bit of, obviously it was a shock, but then just to see what she was dealing with. I mean, and she's already sitting there with the blood and, she's got a baby in her, and to hear that, I mean, I can't even imagine what that felt like. I can't, I mean, yes, I know we've talked about it. What I mean is in that moment to be like, there's something that was just alive in me that is no longer. And it's crazy.
Oh, mine are dogs.
It's okay. We have neighbor dogs too, and we have cats, so they make noise. No, but yeah, it's one of those things where tying it back to what we went through our first time. Yeah, in that moment, when you hear those words, you're like, "What do you mean?"
Right.
everything was fine like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
That was,
So
and I
on
think
and so
that's the thing, right? Like you said, like everything was fine. I mean, I know we were like literally in the process of moving, but like we did everything we could to mitigate the stress on her, which I understand moving is stressful to begin with, but no lifting and no nothing, just kind of be like I told her to sit in a chair. You're the director, you just point and tell and we'll do it, just to keep that stress
Yeah,
level
we were
down.
literally moving
to
South Carolina
from South Carolina, packing up our
2
house
weeks
and
before we
right.
experienced it. Yeah.
So I'm with you. Like everything was fine. There was no issue. We went to the doctor before we left. And then to hear that, it was just incredible. Like incredibly, so I don't mean incredible in a good way. I mean incredible just to hear it. That it went from one extreme to the next like that.
yeah.
How many weeks in were you? Like,
So we were like 11 and a half, 12 weeks. We were right about to hit the safety mark. And
Mm-hmm.
when I went to the doctors 2 weeks before, she said they were using like the sound machine, and she's like, I don't find a heartbeat right now, but this machine's not working that good, so that might be it. But I think I sort of knew then, but like you said, like I didn't want to believe it because this pregnancy was so different than the first two. So I was just like, and I was like, maybe it's because I'm older and I have Graves' disease and it's high risk already. And she said, I can't find the heartbeat, but everything looks good and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right. But I think a part of me kind of knew, but it was like, I wasn't bleeding or anything. So I was like, all right, maybe it's just the machine wasn't good. Right. And I think as a mom, that intuition, you kind of do have a feeling. And I think I kind of just disconnected from myself so I wouldn't have to grieve as hard and, go through that process right then and there, because we were already grieving, moving out of state, like far away from our family and everything else. So it was just trying to emotionally hold the weight of everything too was hard.
so did this, I'm going to ask it probably very bluntly, but don't take it that way, okay? Just because I'm very bad at asking like good questions. But I kind of want to know, so did you guys like plan this baby, or was it like surprise?
Yeah. So I wanted a third baby, for like 9 years. I was like, we're having, because when dreams, going back to dreams, when I was like 13, I dreamt of us having, I dreamt of him. I didn't know him then, but I dreamt of him. I just couldn't see his face. And then our two older kids, I dreamt of them. So I knew they were older. And then I was holding a third baby. And I was like, oh, someday I'll have 3 kids. And he was like, nope, like we're not having 3 kids. I was like, yeah, we are. And, and we actually went through in 2021, we decided to get divorced then. But reconciled and worked through it. And then I said, hey, like, would you like to try for a third baby? And we consciously chose to create her from love. And she was a choice. Our first 2, I don't want to say they were mistakes, but like they weren't planned.
Yeah, there were surprises.
Yeah. So,
Gifts.
like, she was one that they were good. Yeah, they were. She was one that we did plan. And and our rainbow baby, we planned her as well. So I think that made it a little bit. I don't want to say it made it a little harder, but it was like we prayed for her. Like the second I got pregnant with her, it was just like, okay, like we're heading in the right direction. Things are moving for us, and So.
Yeah. So we relate a lot in a lot of things. It's insane.
I don't want to skip the part where she said that she dreamt of Matt.
That's what I was
Didn't know
gonna
his face.
say. I was like,
that's exactly what my wife told me.
Sierra, because I had a dream.
Not of Matt. Not of Matt.
Not of Matt. Okay. Let's not go there. You start calling us something that we don't want to be called. Anyways.
Look,
Take it easy.
We said it. We said it in another podcast, but I dreamt of him way before I met him.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the face either, but like I dreamt that I was like madly in love with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who is this guy? Like, this is insane. And then when I met him, I was like we had already started dating and stuff, and then out of nowhere that feeling
Yeah.
came, and I was like, it's you. And it was, so that's how I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's why he's like, oh, let's not skip that part, because I literally dreamt. I didn't dream that we had all these kids, right? Because I didn't want any more kids. Like, I already had my son, and I was like, I was 21 when I had my son, and I got an IUD for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna have any more kids. My doctor was like, you're only 21. I was like, yeah, absolutely not. Like, I do not. There is no way. So I had an IUD for 10 years, and then I met him. We started dating. We moved in together. And then a couple months later, I'm pregnant.
Oh,
with
With an IUD
with an
in there.
wow.
And it was twins.
You know how
I'm
you know how amazing that makes me
He
feel.
felt like Goku, like
all right.
I felt so powerful at that time.
or Roman Reigns. Let's see, Roman Reigns.
Roman
he
Reigns,
was
there
like,
you go.
oh,
That was a tribal chief.
tribal chief right here.
You're like, nothing can stop me.
It was insane to me. I was like,
That's funny.
so that's when we experienced our. It wasn't a miscarriage, but one of our twins didn't make it, and it was around the same weeks. Because I went to the doctor took out the IUD. That's when he's like, there's 2 heartbeats. And I was like,
Like, what do you mean?
I was like, what?
How's that possible?
I was like, is my baby an alien? Or like, no, there's twins. And I was like, so that was around 7 weeks. Then he sent me to a specialist, because when it's twins, he was like, it's a little bit, more risky and stuff. My first child was a C-section, so he was like, let's just send you, and so then a few weeks later, that's when I went to see the specialist, and that's where they couldn't find a heartbeat for the other twin.
No.
The only thing was that it was called a vanishing twin.
Yeah.
Right, because they you don't really like have a miscarriage in a sense. It was
They
like,
absorb them back.
yeah, like it gets absorbed back into the body. And at that time, it wasn't like funny, but I don't know if you've seen that movie where, what movie is it? Like, there's this girl, she's like, I ate my twin.
Yeah.
Because that happens, like,
Yep.
the nutrients go to the other baby, right? So it's like the other baby takes the nutrients. So she was like, I ate my twin. And I'm like, but I know, sorry. It's just funny. Like, now that I've healed from it, it's like, oh, I've ate my twin. Like, oh my gosh. Like, when my daughter gets older, I'll be like, you ate your twin, girl. So when the doctor was like, oh, like, there's no heartbeat, I was like, and I kind of knew a little bit, because when they were doing the ultrasound, it's the tech.
Yeah.
And I was working in the medical field, so I was like, oh gosh. But then the doctor tells you, and it's just like, it just makes it real.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So I think like that's where we separate, where the men don't have that like feeling that they're like, oh, something's wrong, and we do.
Mhm.
So I think like we're in a sense a little bit more prepared, of like, we know what's coming, so we're able to react faster. As like the men, they're being told there's no heartbeat, so they're like, oh shit, like, what do I do?
Right.
Like, what do you mean? But we're like, you know what? I kind of felt it. I
Yeah.
kind of realized that a little bit ago.
Mhm.
And I started crying.
Yeah.
I think you did too.
Yeah. It was the first time going through all that stuff. First time I was becoming a biological dad.
Yeah.
First time we were having twins.
Yeah.
That's what we were expecting. I don't know what was the difference between when like the first visit to like when they told us the news. I think it was like a good 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of that built up anticipation. We were so happy. We had taken my mom out to
To eat for Mother's
to
Day.
eat for Mother's Day, to surprise her with the news like, hey, you're gonna be a grandma of twins, so on and
She
so forth.
still has like the ultrasound
Yeah.
of both babies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was revolving my life around in that short period of time. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, you're about to be a dad. You need to step up your game and things like that. And the ultrasounds all over the place of both babies and stuff like that. So to get to that point of like, you know, you build up to something and then for that to kind of like come crashing down in just one fell swoop, it's like, it's an emotional roller coaster. I remember as soon as we were told, I don't remember specifically. I just remember getting to the car. From the moment that we were told until we got to the car, we were like just dead silent. She wasn't crying. She was just trying to get through the whole moment. I was trying to figure out what was going on and kind of like, all right, what do I do kind of deal. And then once we got to the car, that's when she broke down.
Yeah.
And I was just there to hold her.
I mean, I was trying to like hold it in because I worked in the same building. So I was at work and then I went to get my ultrasound and then I was like, okay, how the heck am I gonna, go back to work? So I went back just to let them know, you know what, I gotta go home. So I was like, I'm not ready to tell other people because we're barely processing this. Like we have no idea what just happened. So I was like, okay, I gotta go, this and that. And then as soon as I got into the car, like I broke down. And this happens because he's around. When I'm by myself, I'm very strong.
Yeah.
But as soon as he shows up, it's like complete meltdown. Like I just like cried and I think even for a few days I was like in this depression. Where I didn't want to get up. And obviously I still had another baby, but it just felt like a piece of me was just like taken away.
Right.
And I think, I don't know if you went through this on your own, Sierra, but with my wife, it was like self-blame, guilt, like, was I not enough, so on and so forth, right? You start playing that game of like, why'd you do this to me, God? Why me? Why did it have to be me? So on and so forth. Is that something that you went through as well?
So we were in an Airbnb when we moved to South Carolina. We were gonna live nomadically. And I remember about a month after, so a month into recovery, I was trying to just go through the process, get the kids. It was their first year homeschooling. And I was like, let me get them on a schedule. Let me do this, this, and that. And I remember a friend of mine called me and he's like, I have a healing retreat that I'm doing in a couple weeks in Texas. Like, you should come out. And I said, absolutely not. I'm fine. Right. And like maybe then 24 hours later, I remember coming home and flipping out on everybody. Like everything just kind of came out. We went to the mall and like a few things happened and I was just like the weight just dropped and it was like the anger and the rage, like that sacred rage just came out of me. And I was just, and I never ever raised my voice at the kids and him. And I just like unleashed. And I remember them just staring at me like, cause they were like in shock, like what the fuck's going on? And I called my friend. I left the house. I called my friend and I said, I'm coming. Like, I need this. Because I thought I was going to process okay and be okay. But when the anger hit, it was like, I've never been one to be an angry person. So for me, I didn't know what to do with the anger. And I had to sit in that and feel that for a long time. And it was, I'm a very faith-filled person and I believe in God and I love God and I am obedient to God. But for probably the past 2.5 years, I hated God for a while, and I had to rebuild that relationship, and even having a baby right after, like that put me into anxiety, like nonstop, the whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
Connect to her really during the pregnancy because I was so afraid to lose her, like all the way up until we had her. And then even like the first year of her life, I was like, I don't want to say I was disconnected, but I felt like I don't know, like it was hard to explain. Like when you have a baby that you lose and then get pregnant right after, you're kind of like, you're just on edge. Like you're just like, you don't know what to do. You want a mother, but you don't want to get too close because your heart is still grieving. So you don't want the baby to feel that. And it's like, I was playing this like back and forth game, and you know, she's going to be 2 now, and I'm like, I've healed a lot of that. So I just try to, you know, hold her and be present with her and love on her, because I think having a baby right after and still being like in that like deep grieving. I got pregnant like 4 or 5 months after.
Yeah,
so it's like, you
Mhm.
know, I had to stop grieving during the pregnancy because I didn't want to have her feeling that. So I kind of just numbed myself through the whole pregnancy. And then the first year was like I had postpartum and then grieving. So it's like double whammy, that depression, right? Where you don't want to do anything. And I just focused on work. And then, you know, the past year and a half or so, I've been really like grieving and letting things go and working through it. You know, so
Yeah.
it's hard, but
I do remember you going through sometimes. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
did I do something, like you were
Yeah.
saying, like, I remember her saying that, like, what did I do? Like, did I do something wrong? Did I do too much? Did moving cause this? It was like all of those questions. And I felt the same way, like, right. I'm like, we tried to obviously very conscious of what we were doing, making sure she was okay. And even like I love that I do want to give kudos to the medical staff, because they were like, there's nothing you did.
yeah.
Like I don't know how many times I remember them saying that to her, which was good, because hearing it from me is one thing, but I'm not saying that my words weren't good, but what I mean is it was a female
Yeah.
provider who came in and it just sat with her and held her and just said, you did nothing wrong. And
Well, and I
I
think the better part was, well, not the better part, but
No.
she was in the same club.
yes,
She's like,
yes, she
I'm
could relate.
I'm in that club that you don't want to be in. And you know, and I think that, you know, that compassion and
She had a lot
care,
of
like
it.
she was like, she held my hands.
Yeah, she like
And just
down on like almost like
yeah, like
down on one knee, like grabbed her
holding my
hand,
hand,
held
yeah.
her hand, held her,
while she was telling me.
and it hit different. And
Yeah.
it did. It's nothing against you, what I could done or what you could do. It's just coming, just in that moment. I think it helped. Obviously, it
Yeah.
didn't fully take everything away, but I mean, I think because even I felt she didn't do anything for me. Like she didn't tell me anything. I just listening to her, the way she was talking to Sierra, and you could feel her compassion. You could see that she cared. It wasn't just
There's no heartbeat. Yeah.
right. It wasn't just a doctor talking to you and moving on to the next patient. Like she took the.
Yeah.
It was a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was a bad experience for what it was, but for what she did in that moment, especially for Sierra, and in turn, even for myself, just seeing it and watching it and feeling it, it did help a little bit in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as for me, like my relationship with God has always been like tight. God
Mhm.
and I are tight. And when that happened, I was like, why did this happen? Like I was more looking to understand, and it was a little bit hard, and I kind of put myself in like this space of like, you know what, like at least I didn't have a miscarriage. Like I was like, at least I didn't go through all of that I might not have been able to handle, right? At that moment. So I was like trying to understand God, or like, you know, like being like, well, maybe he thinks that I can't handle twins. And he was like, you know what, girl, like let's just give you one for now because you didn't want any more kids. Right. And now obviously now that we've healed from that, like my husband likes to joke because my sister has twins. So he's like, oh, it's because God made a mistake. And he's like, oh, wrong sister. And then like years later, now my sister has twins, right? So it was that just, I didn't want to be a parent again. Like I didn't want any more kids. And then I get hit with 2, and then I get 1 taken away. And then I'm like, what is this game you're playing
Pick
with?
a lane. Pick a lane, Lord.
Like, what is this game you're playing with? Like, why is it you're putting me through this?
Right.
Because I don't get it. Like, I don't know what we're playing. Like, at least give me a heads up, you know,
I think
kind
for
of
me,
thing.
yeah, with him, like I was in Egypt when I started to feel like I was pregnant, and I was hosting a retreat, and I think a part of me was like questioning a little bit. I was like, maybe, and you know, when you go through that self blame, I was like, maybe I didn't want her enough. Maybe I didn't, want to be pregnant. And I was questioning things and questioning our marriage and all those things. So I was like, maybe this is the reason why. Like, maybe that's why God was like freeing me from that. And then I got pregnant again, and I was just like, that's out the window. I was like, guess we're having this third baby, And it was just like one of those things where I was like, for a while I had to like come to terms after the miscarriage of like, maybe I'm just not meant to have that third baby. Maybe my dream was crazy. Maybe I'm wrong, all these things. And then we got pregnant again. And I think a part of me was like, I grieved it enough to be like, I'm done. I'm never having any more kids, like you said. And then I got pregnant again, and I was like, oh shit, because I was like career focused, like, yes, I'm finally going to get my career off and do this and that. And then here I am being pregnant at 35 years old. And, it was a lot. It's a lot of like emotional, like you said, emotional roller coaster and mental games, and, making sure that the next baby doesn't feel any of that. That was like our
Yeah.
we wanted to be, sure that she was coming into a loving home and two loving parents and two healthy parents that can raise her, and our older two, right? Like we had to make sure that, because they grieved, they were afraid. Our son was so afraid when I got pregnant. He didn't want to go. He was afraid that she wasn't going to make it and all these things. So it's like the whole family deals with it.
Yeah, exactly.
They were in the hospital when I was miscarrying. So because we didn't have help. So, they were with us.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was grieving for like a week, and then I was like, okay, girl, you still have a baby that you need to like, take care of. So like you got pregnant a few months later, like I was still pregnant. Like it was like I lost a baby, but I still have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like turning on this candle, because at that point, like he was taking me to church with him, to Catholic church, right? And I grew up Catholic, but then my grandma was a Christian, so she started taking me to that church. So then I was a Christian for a long time. Then I went back to the Catholic church. So he started taking me with him, and I remember like my mom always turning on a candle. And I was like, you know what? I need this. Like I turned on a white candle. We named the baby. Like we didn't even know, like, but I had a dream, talking about dreams. A week before, I had a dream that of my twins, and one of them was a boy, and it had a white blanket on him. And I was like, that has to be like my other baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why would I dream this? And like, it was like our girl who's now 8, like our girl, and then it was a boy, but he, instead of, because you know how like you do pink and blue.
Yeah.
Instead of a blue blanket, he had a white one.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why at the moment, because I didn't know yet. But then after, when I started processing, I was like, I think he was a boy. So we turned on a candle, we named him. I don't know what else I did, but like I did some grieving, and then I was like, I just gotta keep going,
right?
Because I have this other baby, and now I'm high risk because I just lost a baby. So like my whole pregnancy was high. So I was going to the doctor like every 2 weeks or something, like ultrasounds, and I was like, it was cool, but it was exhausting. And like it was funny because I think I was even getting as big as if I had had twins.
No.
Like I was huge. Huge. And I was like and the people would ask me, and I'd be like, oh, it's just one. But like I got huge. Like my body was still like, it didn't, nobody told my body that the other twin wasn't there. Like my body's like, girl, we're growing twins. Like, no, we're not. But that one was hard. And then we went through it 2 more times.
Differently, because those were actually
differently. Yeah. So we had our baby girl. She was healthy, you know, she still is. And then my doctor's like, wait 6 months before you get pregnant.
Mm.
And I was like, cool, like we waited more than that. We're like, yeah, like, we
Okay.
can't handle all of this. Like,
You waited at the pristine time of COVID.
Yeah.
well, not yet. Like, it wasn't COVID yet, but when we finally decided to have another baby, it was before COVID. Um, and we were like, oh, like we're ready, right? And then I remember with that one,
Well, that was before the miscarriage.
huh?
That was before the miscarriage.
Yeah.
I mean, after first miscarriage.
What do you mean? You're just looking at us like,
You had gotten pregnant, I think 2016, 2017 maybe. I think 2016. Because we didn't expect it. We were like, you were holding a baby, but we were telling other people that, like, hey, we're pregnant again. I think it was like 6, 9 months later after
yeah, like it was a while later.
our first daughter was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I see our math is like horrible.
Amnesia, you literally.
We're figuring it out, you guys. Hold on. We're figuring it out.
Husband it together.
But I do remember, baby, it was we got married. Remember, we got married in 2017.
Mhm.
And then we went to Vegas.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then that, like, after that, that's when I got pregnant.
Oh yeah.
There we go. We're getting them there.
He was there. He just can't remember.
Yeah. So we got married. We went on our honeymoon. And then, like, I was ready. Like, I was ready. Our daughter was already like 10 months old or whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, so I got pregnant. I think I got pregnant on my birthday night, like my birthday party. I don't know. We were having a wild birthday party for me.
No, you were pregnant, but
No, because I was drinking.
oh, okay.
Yeah. We're getting them there, you guys. We're getting them there. After that, that's when I got pregnant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
You had a miscarriage.
I had a miscarriage. And that one was a miscarriage. Like,
Yeah.
that one was a little bit harder because, you know, like, we were trying to get pregnant, like you said, and I remember going to the doctor and they were like, I went to the doctor because I started spotting, and I think he was like, take some folic acid, like extra.
Right.
So I was starting to have hope. I was like, okay, maybe, because the heartbeat was like very, like
Faint.
faint, like you couldn't hear it, but it was still there.
Yeah.
It was very faint. So he's like, take some folic acid, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, oh, there's hope, you know, like I was like, there's hope, like I just need to do whatever I can to make sure like this baby's okay, because I hadn't experienced like an actual miscarriage, just the loss of a baby, right?
Mhm.
So I was trying my hardest. And then after that, it literally became a blur to me. Like, I can't even like think of what happened after. So if Moises can't get us through that part, it's just gonna be blank, because
Yeah.
like it was a blur. Like,
Yeah, because even during that time, was that the one that we had where you had the DNC or no? Yeah, I
mhm,
think so, right?
Mm.
That's all I remember is we went through to a certain center. They told us the news, and they told us that, or that your doctor was going to do a DNC, or that you needed that.
mhm,
Which, in a sense, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because one, she hadn't gone through the actual
Yeah.
process of what it is to have a natural miscarriage. And I just remember, like, when we went to that to that appointment, I was just trying to give her hope. I remember showing you some quote, like some Bible verse. I don't know what it was.
Oh,
but,
great.
but yeah, like just trying to keep the spirit as up as much up as possible.
Yeah.
Because we were also in a time in our lives where we were focused on business and career and developing that. She was a stay-at-home mom by that point, so I was working full time and trying to just make it, right, or more than make it. And we were focused on that. So I don't even think that time you had time to grieve because, or you didn't even want to, because
Yeah.
I think that weekend we went to like a business retreat, and and you acted like, oh, I'm fine. You're just like, I'm fine. Yeah, everything's fine. But yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was so I had the DNC. I had to have a DNC, and it was still like I remember because they put me under, and I remember like I was crying.
Yeah.
Like I was crying because this baby that I was gonna have, that I wanted to have, was gonna be taken out.
Yeah.
Um and I was like trying to hold it in, but I couldn't. Like it was just really hard. Um and I'm so grateful that like he's been there every step of the way, because like there's women out there that go through this by themselves.
Yeah.
And even though you guys are not together, like Matt, you just being there for her, like that says huge things about you, because even husbands who are with their wife sometimes are not even there for them.
No.
Right? Like they might have their own reasons, their own selfish reasons or not, but just being there for us, that just made it a lot better to go through this second thing. Right? And that wasn't enough. Like that wasn't enough for God. I was like, girl, you haven't experienced the miscarriage yet. So go ahead and get pregnant. You're gonna have your rainbow baby, which she was born during COVID. She's our 5-year-old, so she was born during COVID, and then I wanted another one.
Yeah.
And I mean, he always wanted to have a boy, and I was like, listen, if this one's not a boy, it's not happening. Like, we're not gonna go for the fifth one. We're not gonna, no. Like, my doctor said this is my third C-section. This will be my fourth C-section. So he said we're crazy. So it's like, if we don't have a boy, we don't have a boy, right? And that one I do remember because it was more recent too. Like it was before our youngest daughter. And that one was in September. So in September, I got pregnant and I was super excited. Like, because, like we had been trying for like 2 months, and then I'm like, oh, I'm pregnant. Like, yay. And it happened like that all the time. Like we would try for like a few months, and God blessed us that way. Right. But then I remember like I was so excited, and then that one, it happened immediately, like a week or two later, where I started the bleeding, and I immediately knew. And because I was already so traumatized by all of this, like it's crazy. Like I'm pretty sure this happened to you too, and I know that this happens to all women. But when you get pregnant and you TMI, okay, Matt, I'm sorry. But when you wipe, every single time you look for blood.
Right.
Right? Like every single time it's like you wipe and you're like, okay, there's no blood. Okay, there's no blood. Okay, there's no blood. But then when you see it, it's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, and this was the third time that I'm going through like losing a child. And I was just like, here we go. Here it goes again.
Yeah.
And this time I actually like had the miscarriage. Like I had to go through the thing. Oh my gosh, and I was devastated.
Mm.
I was like, God, like it wasn't enough that you took my twin and then you took my other child, and like when I'm like, you know what, like I'm good. You take this one too.
I know for me, I had to naturally pass her. And I remember hearing, like, laying in the hospital bed and hearing I was going up for an ultrasound and I was bleeding a lot. And I heard the ultrasound tech go, "Is that the baby?" Like on the floor. And the nurse was like, "No." And they get me to go for an ultrasound to check. And I'm going up we're going up to get in the elevator, me and the ultrasound tech, and my ears start getting blocked. It sounded like I was underwater. And I said to her, I said, "You need to call for help. I'm about to die right now." And she said, "What?" And I said, "Call for help. I'm dying." And then I blacked out. And next thing I know, I wake up because she just got me into the elevator. And then I don't remember anything except for her like saying what. And the next thing I like everything turned black. And then I hear like, "It's not your time. Like you didn't even get started yet. Like your work hasn't even started yet." And the next thing I know, I'm upside down. I open my eyes and my nurse ran all the way up the stair, like 3 flights of stairs to get to me. So I must have been gone for a little while. And she goes, "Oh, we lost you there." I'm upside down. And she sits me back up and I'm covered in puke. And I'm like, when did I puke? I'm like, what? And the ultrasound tech goes, you told me you were dying." I said, "I told you I was dying because I died." Like I knew what it felt like. I was leaving my body. I felt it, right? And for us, we don't know when we lost her. And I think that's the hardest. Because you don't bury a baby.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to go to for her. And I think that's the hardest part. We went to the beach the next day and we were sitting there and this like stork looking bird kind of flew by us and we both looked at each other and I said, "I think they're coming to take our baby," and I was bleeding profusely again. And so we don't know if I flushed her down the toilet or we lost her at the hospital or where we lost her, if she's in the trash.
Remember, I had to help you, right? When
Yeah.
you were taking showers, I'd have to help you.
Yeah. And there would just be like, not to be gross, but like clots coming out and you don't know, and so everyone has a grave to go to, but we don't.
That is the hardest part.
Not to kill the moment here. Sorry.
No.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. It is the hardest part. I love that you said that because I've always felt like it's hard for me. But then now that you said that, I'm like, I know why it's hard.
Yep.
I know why it's hard. It's hard to like talk about it because we don't have anywhere to go and be like, "Oh, that was my baby."
Yeah.
And when people would be like, "Oh, like, are you planning to have more? Are you gonna have more?" Or like, "Why are you having so many kids?" and stuff like that. And I would like think to myself, like, I could have had 7 kids right now. Like, I could have literally had 7 kids if it wasn't, my 2 miscarriages and my vanishing twin. Like, and I think to myself, and I'm like, well, I'll see them one day, right? Like, I'll see them one day, but it's so hard to think of them and not be able to like see anything that, because the last 2, like the miscarriages, I don't have ultrasounds for. I have the one for our twin, but not for the other two. And it's like, I don't even have an ultrasound. I don't have anything. But just the fact that like my pregnancy test said that I was pregnant, and then
Yeah.
you bleed and you bleed and you bleed and you don't even know. Cause when this last one, like I bled and I have no idea where was the baby.
Right.
Like what part was the baby with all the blood. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And it's hard. Like it's hard to even think about it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I find some kind of peace and reconciliation is the thought of like the way that we keep their memory alive is by being the best parents we can to the kids that came afterwards, like our rainbow babies.
Yeah.
Technically, 2 out of our 4 kids were rainbow babies, and even one of them came from a vanishing twin.
I call her a rainbow baby too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all of our babies that we've had together, there was a loss attached to it to a certain extent. With our vanishing twin, who is our oldest, the miscarriages that came before both of our last 2 babies, and that's kind of like where me as her provider and protector kind of led her to like, hey, let's go ahead and keep their memory alive by providing the best life we can to the babies that we do have, and that way once we all meet up in heaven, they can tell them all about it.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth, and they can share and they can build experiences up there. However, it is no matter what, it is a tough situation to go through as parents. Both, I mean, as men, you get to the point where you want to numb yourself just to be there for your family, right? Like you have to put your feelings aside. Sometimes men don't even get to grieve, and they just bottle it up. And I can only imagine what you ladies have gone through on a mental, emotional, spiritual, even physical level. All these things going on during that point, and still decide to try again. But I'm grateful that it led to the life that we all have now, and I'm sure you all are grateful as well.
Absolutely.
Because unfortunately, it's not our fault, right, that those things happen. However, how we handle them, it is our responsibility, and it's our job to make the most of it, no matter what. But yeah.
Yeah. If it's okay with you guys, I would like to stop here. There is some stuff that I want to ask you and stuff regarding this whole situation. So I think that would be better for us to talk about at our show in the Prospera TV network, doing a raw relationship goals. So if you don't mind, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And it's funny how we're gonna start that recording with us crying, because the last one I was crying. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys want to let them know if they want to find you or reach you, have any questions, where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, we're both on Facebook, so just search up our names. We also created Nevaeh's Orchard, which is for families in transition that are going through difficulty or loss. We did it. Our daughter's name is Nevaeh, so we created it.
Nice.
It's a 508c1a.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
All
There you
right.
go.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you in Prospera.
See you over there.